Welcome back from the depths. It is good to see that you did not join the dead within Undermountain. You've successfully cleansed the Castellanter tomb of undead. The family is grateful for your efforts, and has asked me to give you this reward. Once an area is infested with undead, it becomes a gathering place for the foul things. Revisit this place on occasion to make sure it is still quiet. Oh, and what is this curious thing you found? This object is not from this plane of existence. This is curious and disturbing. If you return to the tomb, I believe that you will find a new opening has appeared. It should lead you into some caverns and into your next mission. Years ago, the Guild of Shadow Thieves were a plague upon Waterdeep. If we have time someday, I can tell you some of the things they did. They were both colorful and unpleasant. The lords of the city captured, imprisoned, and executed the guild. But some of the Shadow Thieves escaped and vowed to murder the lords of Waterdeep. They have made numerous attempts to carry out their threats. If the Shadow Thieves have a base below the city, we are all in great danger. Look for the symbol of their god, Mask. This will indicate the presence of the Shadow Thieves. When you see it, watch your backs. That is all. Good luck, my friends.
Okay, now, this quest is a bit screwy. We've got nothing to do. Well, there's one thing I could do up here, but I'm going to save it for later. Anyways, it sounds like you're supposed to go find these thieves guys and kill them, except you're not. And if you try to do that, which I wound up doing because it's been 15 years or more since I played this game last, you wind up kind of wasting your time. You can see this is the new passage that opened up off the tomb entrance that he mentioned. And we're getting to our first section where there's multiple layers, linked dungeon maps. These bats have a very high AC, or armor class. The way that armor class works in 2nd edition D&D is that it starts at 10 and goes down as you become more armored. Still sounds wimpy. Every time you attack, you roll a 20-sided die. And your character has a stat called Plato, or 2-hit armor class 0. Yes, this is extremely confusing, and there's a reason why they finally changed it with 3rd edition. So, let's say you're attacking something that has an armor class of 4, and your character has a Thaco of 15. Well, 15 minus 4 is 11, so on a 20-sided die you have to roll 11 or better to hit it. And these bats, just because they are very have a very low AC, they are difficult to hit. You just keep swinging and missing. Got another ghoul over here. Now, I have to be careful because up this passage somewhere, yeah, you can just barely make it out. There's a pit trap ahead. And it's one of those things that if you were there in reality, it'd be obvious, but because the engine looks so muddy, you can't tell that it's supposed to be a pit. It's right on, well, it was on the right-hand side of that forked passage. I'm kind of approaching it now. There it is. Don't want to jump down that. There's a ladder that will get you up on this side, but there's nothing down there. Boy, swinging and missing sure is exciting, isn't it? Especially in something that is ostensibly an action-based game. Apparently TSR at the time had rules on their licenses that they had to strictly follow the AD&D system, regardless of how well it integrated with the game itself. So we come around the corner, there's the sign, so we know the thieves are near, and that's it. Quest is over, actually. Except, you know, you were just supposed to look for this sign? So here's the next map area, where the Thieves' Den is, although it's inaccessible right now. You can eat those mushrooms and your view goes crazy. Not really worth doing unless you want to spend 3 minutes watching polygons do get touch fuzzy, get dizzy. Yeah, since this was supposed to be a thief area, I was thinking there was a trap back there. There really isn't. There's only one trap coming up in this section. You can barely make out in the video, but there's some crates right there. And if you're a thief, you can climb up them. There's also a treasure chest on top of them. But, it's not easy to get unless you do something a little bit different. I think at one point, it may not be in this video, unfortunately, but at one point I got the message that I should be able to climb up the crates even though I'm not using a thief character. The scripting, again, is just a disaster. And I'm pushing that crate around as I bump into it, but I'm not allowed to hit it. I shouldn't even bother wasting wand of magic missiles on those things. I'm not getting it. And it's hard to know if I'm just unable to hit that guy, or if it's a situation where I'm missing every time I swing. No secret passage behind the waterfall there. Oh, there it is. Now I got the message that tells me I can climb. This whole game's a disaster. So, this passage on the left, this is where the thieves' hideout is. I believe I cannot access it until I'm given the quest to do so. But that doesn't mean I can't finish exploring this level. And I attacked the hostile goblin. Or the goblin there without even thinking about it, but that's okay. I'm chaotic nature. I'm allowed to do that. If I remember correctly, these goblins will talk to you and tell you about the thief stuff if you come to them at the appropriate time. And of course, don't attack them. I just used the aid spell there, which blesses me, which gives me an additional chance to hit, as well as heals me of 1 to 8 hit points. Unfortunately, it seems to just healed one. One aspect of Dungeons & Dragons is it's not intended to be a solo thing. You're supposed to have a party, which can interact and support each other. Some scrolls, more mage spells. And there's a thief, finally, but I can't get through that passage, even though I'm a dwarf. We'll have to find a way around. Having some trouble hitting that guy. If a monster gets directly on top of you, you can become permanently stuck. Fortunately, I was able to get a bit loose there and made him fall. There's some scrolls up there that are really only accessible if you have a thief, so that you can climb the wall. Initially, this game was supposed to have multiplayer in it. That did not happen. It was in some of the builds that leaked out to pirates, but it never made it into the final product. On the European box, in fact, it still says that it offers up to 4-player multiplayer. Well, there's nothing else to explore over here in the goblin section. And no paths off that I missed, which is what I was checking for there, so it's time to double back. And head down that passage. Oh, I didn't go up that ladder area. Don't worry, none of these guys are a big deal. None of them had names. If you're curious about the belts, cloaks, and boots, they have no effect on your character unless they're magical. So you might as well just use them to fill up an inventory slot. A little bit of a confusing layout here. I still see a lone goblin even though he's dead. We'll come back to that. That's where we'll start the next video. And here's the passage I didn't take before. And finally, thieves! That guy took a lot of hits. At an average of 3.5 hit points per level. It's probably level 4 or 5. That's back to the start room. There's that gem. Now that message means that they were supposed to be alerted to me, but it doesn't seem to have made any difference. There's a hidden passage over here that leads to their main base if you come back with the correct quest. We're going to be taking a different way in. This is their main entrance. We're going to take the back door. There's one more feature of this level to check out before we're done here. I don't think those giant rats don't look very giant. They just look like exceptionally large rats. Off to the left here, it's a rest zone. Might as well recover some HP. And this takes me back to the waterfall room. Okay, since the quest there was over, I thought, and there's not going to be good space in the next episode to show off this other small section, I thought we'd look over here. That's the bridge in the area where I fought all those bats before. I can drop down to this little section here, just off the lava, and there's a door with a ghoul and some other cool stuff behind it. Well, I think I'm going to have to go through all the death and madness anyways. Yeah, there's no way back up from this side. Yeah, we leveled up. Before I go to the temple with the giant skull, thought I'd look over here. And this is the side of the map that I didn't go down before. This is all that's over on it. There's a grate there, and there's a skeleton above it that hangs out. If you were a thief, you could come over to this section, climb the wall here, and attack the skeleton and get down there using that. His switch opens the same grate that I just opened. I'm adding my level 2 spells to the hotbar. Hold person will paralyze someone, but they do have to be alive. Yeah, I just turned that skeleton, but it didn't. I was trying to get him to run off the edge up there without much luck. Alright, we got an evil skull with some guys hanging out in it. Looks like some nasty stuff down below. I'm trying to turn these ghouls, but at level 3 it's not quite as likely. And these guys are much stronger than him, so... I have the impression that I'm not supposed to be over here yet, although it seems to work out okay. I used protection from evil there, since these guys are clearly evil. It gives me additional armor against them. burning through the spells awfully fast. These guys don't really seem to be very effective at their job. Oh, there he goes. Got a switch on the wall over here, which we can make a pretty good guess as to what it does. Alright, now I spent a ton of magic doing stuff around here. Trying to detect magic to see if it picks up on anything. And, yeah, you could just barely see. There it is. There is a ledge down there now. But I'm in a giant temple of evil with undead, a voice that keeps talking to me, and it's shaped like a skull. I think I'm going to go refresh my spells before I do this. And I'm going to save you the trip. I just ran back to the tomb with the rest zone right at the start and recovered everything. I have to back off really slowly here because that is very easily fatal if I dropped. That has to be illusionary because otherwise why would they have that path right there? And anybody who says they're going to give you their rewards like that is going to kill you. Reward of death? How'd I know? There's another one of those skeletons down there, but seems to be it. On the other hand, we now have a mace +1. So, +1 weapons in D&D. They work by adding 1 to your attack roll and 1 to your damage roll. Or not just 1, but whatever they're plus. So I'm more likely to hit, and I do more damage when I hit. Not a huge difference, admittedly, but every bit helps when you're this restricted. There's some 8 again to get my power up. I'm kind of lucky that this guy's immobile. Might have actually been a threat if he had done something. And that pretty much wraps it up for me. I'm just going to collect the rest of the treasure here, which is going to be a wand, an enhanced shield, and an enhanced sword. But there's nothing else for us. We'll come back and we'll do the rest of the thief quest. Looks like there should be a secret passage here. Can't even break it. There's one more thing to show off really quick. Bad scripting.